Hey everyone, welcome or howdy do if you for some reason watching this in America. My name is Adam Lai. I am from the UK and I do a show called The Reality Show where I look at different reality shows, give my opinions, reviews on them, and also look for what's real in them and if some of these things are a bit scripted. And let's just say I found myself on a show called 90 Day Fiance, and I've had to stop myself binging and doing the whole season before even picking up and recording this. So I've had to stop. Now I've met all the couples, but what I'm going to do is break them all down. I guess this is like a review from episode 1 to 5. What can we learn from this in relation to who's right, who's wrong, who's been funny, who's been entertaining, and let's meet all the couples for this season. So Adam Light is going to drop some bars like Beyonce, and I'll be reviewing 90 Day Fiance in English and in Francais. So let's get into it. So first off, we'll go with Colby and Emily. Now, Emily's from Kansas. I'm quite good with states here, guys. So you hopefully will clear my obvious errors, but also be a little bit impressed by Brit's knowledge of where different states are in America. I love the misconception a lot of these people coming to America have, which is they think everywhere is like New York, and then have to realise like UK, not everywhere is like London. Thank heaven, because I wouldn't be able to afford to live. But Emily, she lives in a little town, so it's almost like a little prairie farming type of establishment. And she's met a guy from Cameroon in China teaching, so she went clubbing, connected instantly, and within 2 weeks they're engaged, and a couple of weeks later pregnant. Now, great work, great work. I'm just, yeah. Never rush into something. What was I saying? Because I just want to say in relation to guys I've done reviews on other shows, and there is nothing faster. No way that you will ever get a faster thing. I'm talking like F1, Daytona, NASCAR, like acceleration of football players, like speed. You will never get nothing as fast as a man who says I love you or offers commitment when he needs a place to stay or he needs something from you. What colour's that card again? Oh no, I'm thinking football. It's a yellow card. Oh no, he wants a green card. Okay. To be fair, he just seemed like a lovely gent now, and I really feel for him. I think he's trying for the best. From what I've seen so far, he seems like a really kind of down to earth gent. But again, I think there might be other motivations there. So they've been together, I think, 2 years by voice, by FaceTime. So after she's then come back to have the baby in America, they've had. I thought the kid was called COVID, but I think he's called Cobin. But she's been raising him her particular way. She lives with her parents now back in Kansas, and the idea of 90 days is to bring him back over to effectively try and set up in America. Now, this is the thing with 90 days. You're going to have to tell me how it works, because I'm sure it's 90 days, then they get sent back home. I don't know if there's like a ceremony at the end or how that all works, but please fill me in. But I'm assuming it's either yes or no. There's another season, by the way, on this I'm going to have to watch. Just seeing some clips on a season where there's a meme I've seen for years and years and years to now realise that's a guy off 90 Day Fiance with his mayonnaise in the hair or something. So if you've watched this show a few seasons, you'll know exactly what I'm on about. But for me, just seeing that clip for the first time, I'm just... What is wrong with you people? I think we need to remember as well, like reality TV is good at picking the worst of the worst. So, like the nastiest narcissistic females, I think so far I've seen in this, and the most bitter, cold, not willing to change bloke so far. So, let's get into it. That's Emily and what was his name? Kobe. That was him. And now they're coming over to live in Kansas City. She seems like she's absolutely controlling as hell. She seems like she's not able to give anything up. I like the fact Kobe's been really, really straight and honest. But I think this is one of those things, isn't it? Emily's got this I don't need to change mentality, and I think it's going to be a common running theme through this, that all the people who've got the American citizenship, it's like they've got something to prove to get that American citizenship. And I think for me, that's just disgusting. If you like the guy, you like the guy. If you didn't, you didn't. Or girl, like that, that's it. Don't expect them to completely fall into your mould. And this Emily, I must admit, I'm really not a fan of. When someone can't listen and doesn't learn, it's a vicious combination, and definitely some my way or the highway narcissistic traits. And these narcissistic females, I think, in these reality shows are coming out more and more. I think it's just one of those where it's just behaviour that's not been checked yet. That's all it is. I think it's like with guys, they're getting better at hiding these kind of bits of behaviour and maybe pulling the wool over our eyes a little bit, unless we're on this show and we're picking them out and pulling them apart, no problem. But it's these narcissistic females, I think it's just no one's come out yet and gone how detrimental that is, how nasty it is for your children, how nasty it is for everyone involved, partners, family. And I think as time goes on, that's going to kind of happen. Emily and these narcissistic female traits and tendencies, it's telling of something like that. Because again, I can understand why. Again, I've even got friends that are doing this, but have gone and found somebody, gone on a few holidays and found somebody that they really want to spend their time with. So, interesting. I do think that Emily and her controlling behaviour is very, very interesting. But it's going to be a really cute moment because he gets to see his son for the first time. So I reckon that'd be an absolutely beautiful moment where, imagine just seeing your kid on FaceTime for 2 years and then next thing he's there. Beautiful, isn't it? Move on to Binny and Ari. Again, what is I appreciate they're going to find the worst of the worst on this show. I think it's things like when we got Married at First Sight, it's the most extreme this couple, the most extreme narcissist, the most extreme mouth on it. Do you know what I mean? It was always that kind of thing where it's like, let's find the most extreme. And in Ari, again, I think I'm not very complimentary to many other people in this one, if I'm honest, guys. But Ari, this is where, and I'm shouting at my girl Marion, man, we all should be speaking to her. Because the result is sometimes things like this. Now, hopefully it's come up on your screen with Ari and Binny. Now, I don't understand, like, the amount of these narcissistic females. And do you know what terrifies me? They've had good upbringings. Amazing homes, amazing families, amazing... And then it's mad. There's just that one sibling who's absolutely mental. Stage right, introduction. Let's call on Ari. Yeah. Absolutely crazy, controlling, really wants to own Binny. That's it now. It's for her to take him, and he just seems to be wanting to be a guy who just doesn't want any conflict and wants to go away with the flow. He lost his mum, I believe, and his dad at a young age, so he'd had a bit more of a relationship with his sisters, and you can see how it's like wanting to keep the peace. And they're two volatile sisters, which doesn't help. They were a very volatile couple that didn't help the situation at all. And then again, it was really strange. They were just demanding to see the child before they flew back to America. And of course, this was the one time I actually agreed with her. She's like, no. Oh, you want to have a situation? No, absolutely no. Not. She's tired. The kid's tired. No, sorry. Now you want to have it all your way after you threw wine in my face. However, I do find it a bit of a strange one. We got Binny from Ethiopia. I believe, yes, Ethiopian. He's going to try his MMA fighting career over in America, where he believes he should be given a green card, whether they get together or not, because of the fact he's the father to the children. So, yeah. Anyway, so they're hopeful for their situation, and she's insecure times 10. I reckon he's accused of cheating all the time. But that would be Binny from Ethiopia and Ari from Princeton, 30 and 31. And New Jersey, looks like it's been really rough on her, if I'm honest. It looks like she's made a lot of bad decisions, and now she's hoping that she can pin it on Binny. But yeah, Cara, 29 from Charlottesville. And Guillermo, 23 from Venezuela. I thought she was like, probably like 45 or something. She doesn't look that age, but it's just, when someone is so jaded with life, like they're so jaded with life, and and they've given up everything, but they've refused to change ever. So they've cheated on every partner. They've never thought, oh, I'm the cheater. And that's probably why all these guys hate me, or the ones that I do like treat me the way I do. But bless her, she's met a 23-year-old impressionable, I think he might have been a virgin as well, Venezuelan who had to flee for conflict there to live in Dominican Republic. They tried to create this whole thing about his passport, which just wasn't true. That just is an understood thing from America, that Venezuelans will have issues with their passports because of this conflict. But they tried to make something on the show about that. So not much have I seen that's scripted, but that was a bit like you just trying to play some rubbish thing to fill 15 minutes with a story, yeah. But they met in Egypt, is he from? Sorry, no, Venezuela. So I'm trying to think where they met. No, they did meet in Dominican Republic, and then very quickly met, very quickly give each other up. I love how we just standard procedure nowadays, just give each other up. Yeah, just give each other up. Luckily, no babies here though, so that's good. But I think it's just because she doesn't want one. Otherwise, they'd already probably have 2 or 3. She rules the roost with this. She's got a young, impressionable guy who she feels like she's teaching everything to, and she's moulding. The only problem is there's a difference between moulding when it's a female to male and manipulation when it's a male to female. So you've got to be really, really, really careful how that standard doubles up, because again, unfortunately with this person, she's absolutely mental. Absolutely mental. Needs to talk to Marion. This is going to be like my new thing. Talk to Marion. Like, just talk to Marion. Marion sent me some cards. I'm going to be talk to Marion. Because Cara needs to talk to you, man. Like, she needs to just sit down, have a little moment to understand why is it that she needs to control it the way it is. Why does it always need to be her way? It's coming up that obviously there's been a few times that she's cheated on ex-partners and she's lied about that to him. Like, there's just, come on. I know you're from a beautiful place, Charlottesville. You are a pretty girl, but the problem is that therefore there's something on there that needs unpacking, because for whatever reason, you're just consistently cheating and causing issues. And now you've got a young, impressionable guy who, bless him, he's been he asked for his computer. He's been told he can't even buy anything that he wants. So think about this. He's been told pretty much what to wear, what he can and can't spend his money on, where he can and can't go, and it's all okay. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's all okay. So I am not a fan of her, but my favourite guy, Guillermo, he is adorable. He is beautiful. He dresses really smart, and you can see he's impressionable. However, you can also see it's getting to the point where I think he's going to have had enough, and he's just going to be like, forget this. And it's also going to be a real bad experience for him, which is a shame. It's almost like she's trying to send back to Dominican Republic damaged goods, if that's the case. Now, on to my favourite couple of couples, man, for entertainment. Let's go first with Miona, a beautiful Serbian, and which is I guess it's European way, isn't it? So, and Jibri, 28, from Rapid City. SD was South Dakota, wasn't it? He was from one of them Dakotas, not the North Dakota, down to the South Dakota. He's promised Las Vegas. He's promised makeup lines in 6 months. He's promised that the band, he's in a band, the money making band. Wait till you hear their tracks. I'm gonna have to play one of their tracks, just like record it, and just because I thought I'll give it a blast. Oh my gosh, it is embarrassing. It is embarrassing. Apparently there's a little fight coming up in the studio where we're seeing this all filmed in a little bit, but Miona is beautiful, has never lifted a finger in her life, and is expecting to come to America to do more of the same. Jibri has promised all of that, and now that he's finally got here, that he's started to deliver the hard truths of, you're living with my mum and dad, it's on a farm, and we're never going to leave. So I don't get this gent. He dresses fantastically well, and so does she. However, another one of these situations with this Jibri, like, mate, you've got an amazing mom therapist, a calm, like that. How are you so mental? Like, how are you so mental and making rash, stupid decisions? Like, it's like he's not thought about the end of the sentence, let alone phase 2 of what is going to happen in his plan. So he's brought this girl over. Apparently there's all fallouts with him and his friends. He's happy to play this role of it's her fault when it suits him. When she's not there, she's happy to kind of go along and really be trying her best. And out of all of the people, I will give her the biggest shout out, if I'm honest, where this ain't her world. Like, she ain't happy. She's been told she's got to move in with the mom. Now the mom's having conversations with her, and correctly so, about being appropriately dressed and all kinds of things, and cooking meals 2 times a week. But they've gone and cooked this meal, and they were just rude about it. And you just go in, come on, guys, like, come on, parents. At this moment, appreciate their effort and just go, again, it's just, why create an awkward situation just for the point of, just to prove a point? Like, sometimes, can you fake it till you make it? Sometimes it can happen when you're being polite to somebody, that's okay. You like, just to give them the confidence to move on, especially for your son. But I found that really difficult. But it seems to me that they're just going to block off this. They're not real fans of just what is a pretty Serbian girl who, bless her, doesn't know how to cook clean. And again, as their ideals would be for those guys, you can see in their South Dakota, she isn't delivering any of that. There's no support, there's no love. It's the I expect. And she's adamant on certain things like a beach wedding and certain stipulations being met before she'd say yes. So it's just complicated. I think a lot of these people are going to feel like they wasted their time. Now moving on to Trinidad and Tobago, Shaida and Bilal from Kansas City. My gosh, man. Like, he's like a control freak. And I feel for her, though. However, I also know she's in it for the pennies. 100%. It's like she's scrubbing that home like she's been there for 50 years, putting it all together piece by piece. And you just go in, I think he did that all by himself, love. Like, he's literally just spoke to you on FaceTime for 2 years. He's got 2 kids, great relationship with his ex. So there's a lot of things where he's clearly his ducks are in a row, so I'll give him the credit for that. However, I also appreciate that he's got to protect his stuff from this one. Like, wow, 37, wanting to have children. It's getting to that point now where it's again needs to be soon. So of course I can imagine she's on making that happen fast. But he's just a control freak who won't tell the truth as well. So we've got Shahida, who, bless her, is completely materialistic. He runs a test now. I don't know why he would do this. She comes over to the country. What he does is he builds them in the childhood home that they've not lived in for, like, they've just kept it there basically. Not derelict, but they've kept it there just to a low standard. He's borrowed an old work van to pick her up in because he just wants to make sure she's not just in it for his nice house, nice car. So he's trying to make out that this is where he lives, and she has a breakdown. She feels lied to, all these kind of things. 5 minutes after he shows her the new house, everything's fine. All the issues have dissolved away, and they can start talking about marriage again. No. So unfortunately, I think from that moment, if Bilal was honest, he'd have gone, I'd have sent her home. Like, she's failed that particular test. Why test her, lad? Why test her? The truth was going to come out in regardless. So basically, you've manipulated a situation now, Bilal, and now for whatever reason, upset as to why you're coming across the way in which you are. Something really snaky about him. If there's anyone who's going to come out as a serial killer, it's Bilal. So if there's anyone who, you go, and again, I know it sounds terrible because you'd be like, man, surely a man of the Muslim faith. There's a guy who's going to snap over a hair being on the floor or like a crack in a tile and then end up accidentally going mentally to Bilal. But nice to see Kansas, beautiful little city. A couple of people from Kansas. I'm surprised they didn't do like a little meetup like some of the other shows that I've seen before. But looking at this, thank heaven, they got enough problems by themselves. But she really wants kids. He won't do it, and he clearly doesn't want to do it. But he won't say that that's the case. He wants a few things around the marriage, but he's not going to say that's the case. So for whatever reason, he's putting all these stipulations in place now, and the reality is, he's seen her, he's just not that into her. Another thing as well, she wants the kids to call her mom. Red flags, man. Red flags. Now, just so you know, sometimes it's easy to overstate your value. Yvette, 48, with Mohammed, 25, ripped super bodybuilder from Egypt. Yvette, I've got a feeling you've got a history of a lot of decisions like this. And then you wonder why you can't get a good man. It's like, it's a mad one, and it is a mad one. I'm curious to see how those cultures are going to clash. But Albuquerque, New Mexico. So Albuquerque, again, you got to think, from my understanding, I've never been there, and I've only been to Florida, but from Albuquerque, as far as I'm very similar, not hard, deep south like Texas and Alabama, but my understanding is it's still a very progressive place to an extent. Shout out John Jones, but it's honestly a 23-year gap. She's putting on a bikini shot on, and he's going on to it. And he loses his virginity to her in some secret thing, like some secret Muslim thing, so they can just have sex, basically. And now he's going to come from Egypt, strong Muslim ideals, to America. And she ain't got no question marks over that. So if you were to have a child in 10 years, so basically if you were to have a child today, you're 60, he's 10. Like, I'm sure you probably, again, at 48, it might be a little bit on from that, but say you were to do one of the other methods, and then he can't have another kid. Like, that's it. You've took that decision out of his hands. I don't think he's got a bit of a strange voice as well. My love. But he just, again, I'm sure there'll be a lot of cultural differences here that we'll be able to highlight as well. And a lot of these clashes, that I think that's going to be one that will come up with a bit of a clash, because what are you doing? There's a lot of differences there. Surely there is no commonality whatsoever. 23-year age gap. So let's see. And finally, because I've only just been introduced to these, Patrick, 31, and the gorgeous Thais, 25, from Brasilia. I think she's from a little town in Brazil, not Brasilia, but yeah, he's been over like 14 times or something ridiculous to go, and he went over to Brazil and just went on some dating apps and effectively met this girl, and's now non-stop sending her gifts and non-stop sorting her out. But he's effectively the guy who I have never seen. I remember like a season we watched recently where a guy who just kind of lost himself for a girl. I have never seen a guy be so willing to lose themselves. I think that sometimes you can accidentally lose yourself where you're just trying to defend somebody, and you can accidentally lose yourself. However, it's still your own fault. You have to catch yourself. No one will catch you. And you're ignoring people generally. But for me, this sop is an absolute wet flannel. The thing is, he's huge. Like the guy is absolutely huge. Beautiful smile, dresses well, great job, great home. And there's just nothing to him. This Thais, bless her, is just insecure. She walks all over him. He has to share every moment, everywhere that he is. She won't trust him anyway. And it's just a very complicated situation. Again, I always wonder why someone has so many trust issues. Especially, yeah, I appreciate people being hurt before, but sometimes if you're getting accused too much, sometimes it gets to my mindset where I'm going, is it because you're doing this? And you can see how easy it is that you then walk away from your little rendezvous thinking, what if he's just done the same? And then I get questioned, you know what I mean? And it's like, you get to that point where if you keep getting questioned, you just go, I'm going to take this as that now. So I do wonder if in Brazil she's been a little bit naughty, but met on a dating app, and now, a couple of years later, it's a weird thing with these cultures that I'm finding as well, where they're not telling the family till the day before. But again, the day before, like our Ethiopian Bine causing big family dramas, like Thais from Brazil, the day before telling her dad, I'm going to move to America and I might be staying there permanently to get married. And actually, she hasn't even told him they plan on getting married. She's going to surprise him with that after she does. And you're like, there's different mentalities to this as you go to different places, clearly. But anyway, thank you for my first review, episodes 1 to 5. This season is mental. These people are mental. I'm going to go back and watch a few of these seasons as well, and then also catch up with some other things, just to let you know how I'm going to try and work it moving forward, guys. So thank you so much for bearing with me today. It's hard because obviously I want to binge these shows. It's obviously they don't come out as for the same times for all of us. Otherwise, we could pretty much, like Married at First Sight, we can all connect at sort of 9 p.m. on a night. So I'm going to keep doing these little stories. Got flipping good ones coming up to do with a little letter that should never have been sent. And then also, that'll give us just an opportunity to kind of all grow together regularly. But then also, if there's any new shows like Love Island where we all can kind of catch up on ITV on a certain night, let's do it. But anyway, Adam Light, I got Body Like Beyonce, and that's what I'm watching, 90 Day Fiance. So yeah, much love. Thank you so much indeed. I'll get quicker out for the next episodes, 5 to 10. 10 to 15, 15 to 20. I think he said it's going to work with 90 Day Fiance. So there's going to be a lot less, but chunkier videos. But yeah, enjoy and let me know what would you do. But really interested to know your guys' feelings on some of these things. Would you do? Like I said, would you go on 90 Day Fiance, or would you go and have those challenges of meeting someone from another culture and introducing them to you? Let me know, and I will speak to you soon.